Woody. Hi. My bird is enjoying his new Christmas toy. Woody. Hey, Skimlitten. Merry Christmas. How's your Christmas Eve been? Yeah, I feel you. Our Christmas was actually very quiet. Just me and my sister, my mother and father, and grandma and aunt. That was it. And my grandma left after dinner too, so it was just close family and my aunt mostly. So that was alright. Stupid camera, come on, stop. I'm just doing, you know, the chill work today. Terrain painting and detailing things up a bit. I pretty much finished the level scaling system the other day, so that's very comforting to know that that's pretty much done for episode 1. At least close to it. What's this look like then? Can I use that somewhere? Did you get any nice gifts then for Christmas? Tons of underwear. It was, as I said, a very small Christmas, so there wasn't much gifts at all. They get some perfume and a nice sweater though, which I'm using right now. It's very comfortable. Something's going on with the train here. Need to cover that up. Yeah, perfume is very useful right now. So stinky. Yeah. Hey TT, Merry Christmas. Thank you, man. Right, so this particular corner is a bit dark. I should do something here. Yeah. She's doing a bit of terrain work today. Perhaps some scripting after too. Just more or less finished the level scaling system, so things are starting to come together. What really delays my work right now is that you can't import level template because it doesn't bring instance painting, and I've been confirmed by Kevin that that's gonna get fixed at some point. So until then, I just work on level templates, do details, do quests, scripting, stuff like that. Then I can start mashing things together. Oh, you wanna You want to start from scratch and level design, is that it? Wish I could reduce the blue hue on this marker as well. I feel like I see very little through it, so I kind of have to, you know, paint a bit and then see. You're not happy then with your current level? Oh, I think I see a compliment there, thank you. How's your Christmas then? You got anything nice? I feel like there's a bit too much going on right there. So I'm gonna do this instead. Right, so one of the remaining tasks for this place is that these braziers, they use 3 different elements, but the players don't necessarily possess all of the different spells they would need. For example, some people might go full melee party, they don't really have that many spells, so I need ways to obtain the tools they need if they don't have the spells to still be able to pass the puzzle. Now I could do scrolls, but I don't want to do that, and I don't want to give them easy access to, you know, a plethora of spells. So I'm thinking maybe I should either make 3 new spells just for this area. For this place I kind of had... I never draw a map beforehand, but I always go in with some sort of idea of what I want. And I also try to press it together a bit as much as I can, because if you observe what people do when they make maps is they make big maps, and I'm an agent of bigger is not always better, which is ironic considering my mod, but still. Every sort of area needs a purpose, and I see so many times that people make, you know, a large box with rooms, and running from, say for example this, to the next point of anything interesting would like be a 20, 30, 40 second run in many instances. So I try to know what I want from the map and press it together as much as I can. For example this, you can't get there, it will be blocked off bad there. But it's just providing, you know, visuals. But also walking up here, you'll both have part of the puzzle there. You'll have the entrance, point of interest, and you'll be able to look down. So there's always, you know, something going on. There's also more clues behind here. Oh, what's going on here? So, you know, there's sort of the basic idea. And I just start with the terrain. So the first thing I did, I just expanded the terrain a bit, and then I started with the entrance. I figured, you know, when they get in here, they want to see, okay, this is a new type of biome, they have some water, they run up, and here they get a choice. Quite early in, they can go to the left, they can go to the right. They still have things to look at, and they can run up, they find a puzzle, they see a waterfall. And of course, obviously, you're up here and you can look down, you can get a better view of the area, you can see, okay, there's something there I want to check out, I want to check that out. And they can, like, peek or can I walk down there, and they'll try to find a way. So, you know, everything needs to have a purpose. That's the basic idea of any map. If you don't have a purpose for it, then it probably shouldn't be there. You know, this can probably, you know, I'm not gonna make an obvious path here. I'm gonna plop down some more nature here so that it's not necessarily that obvious at first that this is a path. You know what, I can, hold on, I'll send a word to Milena, if she's not lurking. And I'll create a new level. Actually, I do have a level that I use for testing already. What did I call that again? Lushy Secret K? No. Hidden Area, that's one. Initially I wanted a small hidden compartment room kind of thing to the area we were just in. And the idea for that would be, you know, the small path I showed you, kind of if the puzzle is here, then you can walk around it. And I was thinking maybe a small entrance beneath it. So then I already have a purpose. And I don't like expanding as I go, I would rather minimize as I go, so I usually start by just, you know, dragging it out a bit, like that. Then I tell myself, where do the players start? So in my case, that would be a circular kind of area. So just drop down the player, that's the beginning. I'll find the entrance. And in this case, maybe... let's see. No, for the sake of example, let's just use this one. So that's the starting point. They'll be coming in from here, and they'll be entering there. Usually what I like to do, as you've seen in some of my pictures, is I make just enough outside of here as well to kind of see some similarities of where it came from. It doesn't need to be accurate, but enough that it kind of gives you the idea where it came from. And then imagine now that the puzzle area is on top here. I would want to make a dome, or at least the illusion of one. So just start gonna remove all this shit. Just start terraforming, really, kinda shaping the basic idea. Now I would want this to kinda go slightly down, and then say this is roughly the size. So that would kind of be beneath. And then I know the size of my map roughly, so I could make it a bit smaller again. I don't like starting at the corner, I just feel I get claustrophobic. And then I would start putting down walls, rocks, so I could do a couple. Then I just keep going until, you know, I have the area I want. And do that 3-4 times more, add some coverage around it, paint the terrain around black, add the content of the room I want, and then it would be... then I would kind of see the basic idea of it. That would take like an hour, maybe. So I don't want to do that because I don't need this room anymore, or at least that I know of yet, and I don't like making more map than I need. Again, for the sake of everything needs a purpose. I'll save it still, just in case. Maybe I want to continue on this at some point. I very rarely use patches, I just use kind of eyesight and just expand as you need. You can do the... I don't even remember where you do that anymore. It's what I did in the beginning. Yeah, honestly don't even remember how you change the patch size. So then you can tell how often I do that. Yeah, I just click and drag. Find that to be much better. Then I can make the exact size I want. I needed to do some more terrain somewhere. Where was that? Where was that? A shrine, not there. Maybe I should continue that a bit as well. Maybe it was on the Isles. On this one, you mean? The very beginning of the map, I just I had only the terrain for this one, and similar to what I just showed you, I started putting up the elevation on this beach, and then I used this flattened terrain tool and kinda drew the basic shape of the terrain. Then I figured, okay, I want a beach area, that much I know. I want a shrine area, and I want a cabin area. That was kind of the first idea. The camera keeps turning on its own. So 3 portion of island, that was the very first idea. So I drew the beach, used the slope tool, added up here, turned, wanted a T-turn. So here you can go left for the cabin area, you can go right for the shrine area. And I'm very fan of verticality in maps, so I often have waterfalls, cliffs. I use cliffs as sort of the edge of the map kind of thing, so that, you know, you can't really pull the camera further than here when done. So it gives the illusion that a map is bigger than it necessarily is. Then I just keep working on detail until I get happy. And when I need help or extra, you know, lessen the workload, I ask Gimbleden, can you make that cave, can you make that this and that, and it always turns out quite nice, so that's very relieving. It makes the life easier as well. So yeah, usually I just start with the terrain, the basic terrain, and then I alter and change a bit. For example, this river wasn't here in the beginning. But then I realized that, yeah, I have water here, so I need a water to come from somewhere. And of course, this is everywhere in the world. It rains sometimes, so it has kind of, you know, smaller ponds, lakes. So you have this pond that comes from a waterfall. It's conspicuous where it comes from, but there's another pond up here as well. Which kind of, so it has multiple layers of rivers. It kind of adds a dynamic, and this goes all the way, pretty much. It rains down, you have small watery areas splitting the beach, you have this alcove, and you have the river up here as well, kind of coming down from the top there. And you still need to patch up this split there. So yeah. Is this where I still needed to do some terrain work? Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. I have the green patches. I have some of them, but not all of them. Guess they're more or less all present. Hey, Krillin. Merry Christmas to you too, man. That was the one with the roots. Okay. Let's drop that down to maybe here. I often like to add a couple of roots around trees and wherever there's traces of trees. That's another, it's tedious work, but it's another underrated thing that I see a lot of people don't do. Most people use maybe 1, 2, tops 3 different terrain layers. I've learned that the maximum amount of layers you can have before the editor says nope, you can't have any more is 50. So yeah, I wish a lot more people spent more energy in terrain painting as well. Because there's tons of grass on top of it and bushes eventually and flowers and whatnot, but you still notice. You don't see it until it's there, but once you have it there and then remove it, then yeah. Hello, Milena. Oh, so there's that. That needs to be beneath plants. Where's plants? We're gonna look at some more of Milena's prefabs. I promised her that as well. Get some eye candy. Now, one thing I do recommend is you don't necessarily want to do terrain painting immediately. You can do the basics, like here's grass, here's beach. But you're gonna waste tons of time if you do terrain painting before anything else. Because then I would paint this area and then put rocks on it, and then the time I spent painting that area would be wasted. So once you have sort of the structural terrain in stone, or you know, settled, and started to put down trees and stuff like that, that's when you can also start thinking about terrain painting. Yeah, I would rather go the other way around, TT. Instead of asking, kind of making a terrain, ask what's going to be there. Like, okay, say you want to have an island. What's on an island? You have maybe a stranded person that's died of fatigue or starvation, and maybe he was making a shelter on a cliff, or maybe he was trying to make a signal, so he was at the beach with a campfire, bonfire, trying to light up a flame for people to see him. Kind of find purposes for the world you're making, and then suddenly shaping the terrain and shaping the world goes almost by itself. Yeah, pretty much. But one thing is a fact that I don't think anyone can put an argument against. Your map is never done or never good, no matter how much time or size you've put into it until you've done the terrain painting. It's one of the elementary things that you just have to do if you want, you know, to genuinely say that your map is done. I can't stress that enough. It can almost sound rude, but all the maps I see that just has, you know, a stripe of grass and then a stripe of rock there, they're just immediately bad impression. Of course, under the presumption that they consider the map to be done. Rubble, rubble, rubble. Rock slate A. I believe that's the one with the small ones. Is it not? It is. I usually make a very rough outline of the entire area first. And then I just do one layer of terrain, kind of grass. Okay, this is grass. This is beach. But I leave the details until I've done all the walls, the cliffs, the grass, the trees, most of the details. Not necessarily all of it, but enough that I know for a full fact exactly what's going to be here. Then I start painting details. But yeah, every place needs a purpose. That's perhaps the biggest suggestion I would make in mapping. Especially if you make a big mod that's story content. Mostly because, let me go into gameplay here. Actually, let's go on AI grid first. This Isle map is currently 2746 by 2248 cell size. Fort Joy is at 2400 times 1800 or something. So this area, size-wise, is bigger than the entire Act 1 of the main campaign. That's including all the dungeons. Fort Joy itself, the island, is about this. So yeah, and naturally this is big because you sail, but you sail with an increased travel distance, so while this look far, it's not that far in sailing. But if you'd run as a person, then this would be a, I don't know, 2-minute, 3-minute run. So yeah, so that's why it's big, but still, it drains. Kevin has taught me how to work around this, but only on this map size, if assuming the quality is quite low, because it's such big. So the more map you make, the lower quality of map you will have, unless you do a big workaround, which I'm gonna do. And you'll also have a huge performance drain, because when I drop this into Fort Joy, along with all the caves, the dungeons, the hidden rooms, the basements, it's gonna be a ton of map. Shit ton of map. And all of it needs to be decorated, all of it needs to, you know, be polished up. So if you make huge map without ever considering what the areas are for, or if you're making huge city with 50, 60 buildings, but not having a purpose for them, you're gonna find yourself hating yourself in the long run once you actually have to make something out of the buildings or areas that you just made because you wanted to make maps, but not really with a purpose. Right, prefabs. I'm gonna go to wait, hold on, which prefabs is it that I miss to look at? I could go to a appropriate map and actually see if I can put some of them to use. Discord, where are you? There we are. Milena, which prefabs is it that I haven't seen yet? I think I saw the most recent one. Yeah, I do, Skrimlinen. You're right, I do. Maybe I'll do that right away as well. I'm just trying to figure out which of the prefabs I haven't seen yet, because I think I saw the most recent one. The one with all of them, the Coast Shipwreck, Road Cliff, Wooden Wall. Yeah, that's what I saw. Set 6. Between Cliff Catwalk. Okay. Cliff Corner. I have all of them installed, so I should find them here. HSC. Natural Decoration Between. Cliff Catwalk. Gonna drag this root template window off screen. Really need a third monitor. Oh yeah. Sweet. I can see myself using this in Ilheim. Kind of one of the side passages on the mountain. But or maybe I can get away with using grass, moss, rocks. If this could, ironically, maybe I should do that. I kind of want to explore that idea a bit. That actually when you climb the mountain, it gets warmer and more summery rather than winter, which would be ironic when climbing a mountain, but the entire area is ironic as it's much snow and it's called Ilheim, which loosely translated is the home of fire in Norwegian. So, yeah, I like. HSC Nat Deco Cliff Side Camp Pine. So much names that I get. Nat Deco Mossy Cliff Pine Walkway. You see a pillar. Haven't I seen this before? Yeah, I have. This is something else. I've seen this before because I remember noticing that this was somewhere you can climb up. We used this in Ilheim already. I've seen that. That's not part of the package. Yeah, this was called Nat Deco Slate Rocks Pine Walkway. But I'm looking for Mossy Cliff Workstation. There was one above it. That's huge. I like this song very much. I don't have anywhere to plop it down. There. Plop. I fall in love with I found a hole. fallen in love with these cliffs here as well. I used them a lot in the first map you guys saw, the secret path puzzle area. It's very simple, very easy to shape a wall. You know, like whoosh, you suddenly have, you know, more wall. It's a nice. I did that here as well. Started with just putting down, of course, tons of prefabs at the end, but basic walls, and then adding stuff onto it later to kind of hide the repeating patterns and also add more variation as well. Nice. I find myself using this a lot, changing out, removing these, and use this bam 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 along the side to make a huge cliff side. That's gonna be very useful. But I'll probably turn this like that, and then all the way. Nice. Cliff corner concave. That's pretty. That reminds me of the first original Sin game from Le Cola Forest. It's kind of the same mood with a touch of colory flowers, fern, and the lanterns, fallen trees. Yeah, it's very Le Cola. This was the same with moss, wasn't it? It's the impression I got from the name. Nice. Nice, Millie. Oh, is that grass there by default? Guess it is. Yeah, you guys have no idea how much I love prefabs. Such a time saver when you work, even just to kind of get an idea. Say that, you know, you want to build an area, but you find it hard to. That's my main issue when I make music as well. It's difficult to get the start going, you know, but as soon as you breach that wall, breach that initial vagueness of where you want to start, then pieces start falling in place almost automatically. And that's late debris bushes. Oh yeah, that's the one you said I could look at, Milena, when I was making. I think I used that on the beach. Was it? No, that was the trees. Where did I use this one? Oh. Yeah, I think that's the one you said I could use for my purpose. I just don't remember where. It's quite a while ago. There? Is that it? Looks kind of like it. No, I must have moved it a bit around. I don't know. Still sweet. These are the ones I really love, the small ones, because they're so flexible. You can, you know, big ones look very nice and save a ton of time, but you can only use them so many times before you really see the pattern. Whereas the small ones, they really add something. Like that. Oh, maybe not. Well, I'm supposed to have the waterfall there anyways. I can't really put it there when I come to think of it. Still, you guys saw how convenient that can be. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Slate debris bushes, but there was 3 of them. Oh, yeah, right. Maybe 2 and 3 were from new pack. Slate debris bushes. Yeah, 2 and 3 were from pack 7. That's probably why it was familiar. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Here. It's a bit too big. Haha, it's a bit too big. Haha. Sorry. We're gonna put you down. Can I use the air somewhere? Slate Forest Rocks 360. Oh, I know where I can use this. Here. Still very barren. Because of the player sailing, the camera is 4 times zoomed out than normal. So I actually have to, you know, actually make some detail and attention to where the player in player form doesn't actually ever see. It's kind of interesting, but of course it's a drag on performance. Luckily I don't need to put that much attention to detail up here, just enough to kind of hold on. Right, so we actually have guests, so I'm gonna quickly storm through the rest of the prefabs, then have to BRB for a while, as we are having a family dinner. That's how the Christmas times roll. Make that big swoosh. Fine, just hide it underneath. If anything, the ship would be poking up like that. Yeah. Uh, 360 pine oak. Sorry Milena that I'm rushing, I just want to see them. I'm gonna plop down that, and it was pine oak 2. Pine oak 3. Ooh. That looks very interesting. There's one more eroded slope cliff. Like these trees a lot, the fallen trees. I abuse them when I can in forest areas. Of course these roots, that reminds me, that's what I need to do in the puzzle area. Add more roots and wall decorations. I'm actually gonna just copy that over here. No, that's it. Oh! Clever! No, no, it's not a part of the prefab. But it still looked good. Just a tree beneath it. Thought you had been clever, but it was an accident. I can actually... Shh. Do you have a bush? I'm gonna leave that there for later so I can explore ideas. Sweet though. These details with the bushes, flowers, just small things that makes the difference. And here's tons of small things. Lovely. I really like this big one, especially. It's just so natural, organic. Might actually see if I can... There's one portion of this whole area, I believe it's this side. It's quite untouched yet. Squish. I'm gonna put it there meanwhile, and I'll do the bottom floor. Switching around later. I really need to run for a bit. That's definitely gonna smooth out this very vertical cliff a bit more, which helps. Could put it up here as well. I haven't done much on these platforms yet. Nice. Alright guys, I'll probably be back in, I don't know, half an hour? I'll probably maybe stream more, it depends if the family want to play some card games and stuff. But I'll stream more when, whenever I get back. That's kind of how these Christmas days go, so just wanted to do a short stream today. So, hopefully I'll see you guys later. Thanks for dropping by. I need to rush off and feed my belly now.